Previously, he created a weapon to defeat the Demon Lord who took everything from him, but it was used against him, sending him back in time. He finds himself 16 years in the past, where something happens that should never have happened. This time, he deals with it with no remorse and goes for the finishing blow. Thanks again for the support. The recaps are a bit long because I can't resist the details. It may not be for everyone, but that's my style. Thanks again. Now, on to the next chapter. The other two friends watching the events unfold are frozen in place as they look at the protagonist and see their friend shaking in fear. One can't believe that Lee Ho-seong is losing, while the other friend is confused and questions what's happening. He wonders if this is really a fight between a weakling from a fallen family and the youngest disciple of the Murim Alliance leader. The other friend's eyes widen. This was not supposed to happen. This was supposed to be an easy fight, and he knows he must do something. He gathers all the courage he has and stutters. He respectfully calls out if the young master from the Tang clan could stop his attack here. The protagonist freezes hearing those words. He thinks about how these three made his life hard in his previous life, and he has a score to settle with those two as well. He shifts his intent toward them. Seeing the protagonist look their way, they can only show fear as they step back, seeing the intention in his eyes. They know if they stay longer, they might be next. Lee Ho-seong's group of friends turn to run, fearing they might be next. One respectfully states he'll be leaving first and leaves. The protagonist turns back, understanding he still has a task to complete as his aura rages around him. We can now see the source of the terrifying aura. His core energy is being overworked, putting massive strain on his body as demonic energy tries to come out. The protagonist understands this. There's a small amount of blood visible on his face. He wipes the blood off and knows he has to endure this while making sure his demonic energy is not revealed here. He calls out to Lee Ho-seong, who is visibly scared. The protagonist comments that it's fine to look down on him. He doesn't care. But as a human and member of the righteous sect, one should understand one's actions and know the difference between right and wrong. Lee Ho-seong doesn't listen and decides to run away, commenting that the protagonist is just talking rubbish and telling him to get lost already. But the protagonist closes the distance instantly, channeling energy into his dagger, looking coldly down at him as Lee Ho-seong covers his face in fear, thinking this is the end. The protagonist comments that his actions have led to this consequence. He only has himself to blame. He goes to strike the final blow. Lee Ho-seong can only scream, but before the attack connects, the protagonist senses something coming. He quickly raises his arms, bracing himself as he gets attacked. He thinks he didn't have enough time to put up a strong enough block. That was the best he could do. He's sent flying back as he crashes into the wall. We can now see the attacker, another martial artist. As the protagonist gets up, he looks over at this new martial artist. The martial artist demands that young Master Tang stop, commenting that if he wants to end Lee Ho-seong, they can no longer stand and watch. The protagonist starts to realize who they are. He looks over and sees a squad of 4 men. He understands these are the escort dragon guards. He remembers that the Alliance leader's disciples are special and get their own direct bodyguard unit assigned to them. The squad leader looks down at Lee Ho-seong, seeing him shaking in fear, and calls him an idiot for what's happened. The protagonist knows this person. His eyes become ferocious as a single name comes to mind: Sun Woogan, the escort dragon leader. He now understands that Lee Ho-seong and Sun Woogan have been working together. He thinks about a past memory, how these men would later become the worst traitors in the Murim Alliance, the event known as the Sichuan blood disaster. He remembers the amount of people who passed away. The number was around 30%, which lowered the Murim Alliance's fighting force at a crucial time. The memory causes anger to swell up inside him. He's visibly angry now. He doesn't care. He just knows these people here have to disappear, and he'll make sure that happens. The protagonist speaks up and directs a question to the squad leader, questioning why they would get involved. He comments that Lee Ho-seong has not officially become a disciple yet, and questions what right the escort dragon guards have to interfere like this. The questioning catches the lead guard off balance. He was not prepared for such questions. Sun Woogan starts to worry as he knows the protagonist speaks the truth. Lee Ho-seong is waiting on his final verification. But he has a bigger question on his mind. How does the protagonist know about this information? While the other guards talk amongst themselves. But then the protagonist speaks up and comments that the escort dragon guards did nothing to protect the innocent woman when she was getting harassed, but they had to step in and protect Li Ho-seong when he was the one who caused this mess. He comments that he was only punishing someone who clearly did something wrong. The squad leader interrupts him, raising his voice as he points at him, commenting that's enough. The likes of him is not somebody who can punish others. All personal matters of the Murim Alliance government are handled by alliance laws. But the protagonist can only smile a little as he laughs sarcastically, commenting, "These are the standards you're upholding? Standards of the righteous path, isn't it?" This annoys the squad leader. He's getting to the end of his patience. But the protagonist doesn't hold back. He continues, stating that their actions are truly admirable, hinting they would not help the innocent but help a villain. The squad leader, understanding his underlying words, sees this as a threat, but knows how to deal with this. He draws his sword and states that the protagonist is arrogant. How dare he insult the great Murim Alliance? The squad leader orders the squad to get ready as they prepare. He screams out to the protagonist, this is his last chance. If he does not kneel down and beg forgiveness, he will have to suffer the consequences of his actions. But the protagonist stands firm and just taunts the escort dragon squad, commenting that the squad leader sure does love to talk a lot. He mocks him, saying he must have used that tongue a lot to get to his position. This does nothing but stir up the anger in the squad leader. He's visibly angry now. He's come to the end of his patience. He yells the command as he raises his hand to seize the protagonist. Instantly, his squad goes into action. All dash toward the protagonist simultaneously. The protagonist stands and readies himself. He understands the squad leader is probably around the top of Peak Realm. He looks at the squad members dashing around and understands these three are probably first-rate martial artists. One lashes forward for the protagonist's head, hoping to end it in one go. But he moves his head ever so slightly to the left and blocks the incoming attack. He instantly goes from blocking to pushing the attack down, sending the attacker off balance. The protagonist uses this chance to swing back, but another member is already making his move from behind. As he sends one guard away, another attacks from behind. He leans back in slight panic. The weapon is very close to his head. He looks back to see those two have already recovered and are attacking. He instantly blocks one attack, then follows up blocking another. While this is happening, he thinks about what a pain this is. He's still dealing with the after effects of the martial skill he activated earlier. He knows he only has about 2 years' worth of internal energy left. As all three go to attack once more, the protagonist looks around and understands he needs to finish this fight quickly. One guard attacks again, but the protagonist gathers strength in his foot and jumps into the air, avoiding the attack. He counters instantly using the back end of his weapon, striking the neck and knocking one guard to the ground. But he knows he hasn't got time to relax. He goes on the counterattack, throwing one of his weapons, throws it from the blunt side as it slams into another guard, throwing him into the wall. The last guard is still confused as the protagonist lunges forward. The guard is annoyed and screams that the protagonist is just toying with them, calling him arrogant. But the protagonist slides along the wall, ready to attack. He grabs his weapon that he threw at the guard by the wall and dashes straight down on top of the last guard. That guy can only think the protagonist is a monster, but the squad leader has seen enough. He screams out for his men to stop messing around as he goes into action. This catches the protagonist's eye, but he's too late to react. The squad leader kicks him away, protecting the final guard. The protagonist slams into the wall. He's definitely hurt from the attack. Looking at the ground, the protagonist tries to gather strength. He can only think about how the squad leader sneak attacked him. As he sits up, definitely feeling the effects of that last attack, the squad leader steps forward. He points his weapon toward the protagonist and comments that the protagonist is arrogant for running wild without knowing his place. He continues to lecture him, commenting that the protagonist is nothing but a third-rate weak martial artist and that he should know his place. The other guards slowly get up from the attacks they received. He continues, questioning if the protagonist understands the price of running his mouth. But the protagonist slowly gets to his feet, saying he talks too much. He can't find peace in the silence even for a moment, because of his talking. With the situation looking dim, he knows there's only one thing he can do right now to help. He grits his teeth as he knows it's going to hurt, but he has no choice. He forcibly opens up his upper dantian as energy starts pouring into that core. The squad leader, sensing danger, leaps back and questions what the protagonist is doing. Whatever trickery he has up his sleeve will not change the outcome. But the protagonist, now with his new core active, taunts the squad leader once more, commenting that he must be good with the men in this squad with all that tongue strength he has. He then firms his resolve and tells the squad leader to stop messing around and come at him already. This move irritates the squad leader. He looks at him and states that if he wants to meet his end, he will send him there. He activates his martial skill. His sword starts to glow. He dashes forward, commenting he will grant the protagonist's wish. But something is wrong with the protagonist. The energy around him is becoming too much. Suddenly, a dagger appears above them. When he looks up, he sees it's the formless dagger. He's confused why it showed up here. The protagonist can only think it must have traveled back with him when he got struck in the head with it, and it got stuck in his upper core. But he doesn't have time to think about that. The squad leader lunges in for the attack, commenting it's over. But the protagonist doesn't care why it's here. He now has a new tool. He drops his previous weapons and starts pouring his inner energy into the formless dagger. Energy glows around it as he prepares his attack. He's going to end this in one strike. But suddenly, there is a golden stream that floats through the building. It passes through the rooms, then passes through the squad leader, then straight past the protagonist. The golden stream has wrapped around the squad leader's body and weapon. He's confused. His body won't listen to him. As the sound of a footstep lands, the protagonist can only look up and see an old man walk toward him with his golden aura. He places a hand on his shoulder and states that the power he was about to use cannot be used so carelessly. But the protagonist knows this being in front of him. He's frozen at the sight. He can feel the immense pressure coming off him. This is the strongest person in this era, the strongest martial artist. All the squad members take a knee and show their respect to the Great Alliance leader. The protagonist looks up and knows this is the master of the Martial Alliance. He is the Sword Emperor, known as Yu Jin-hak. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and like. It really helps me out.